Wednesday broke something in me. First, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Then, another school shooting here in Colorado. 2 acts of violence in one day. And I can't shake the weight of it. It's taken me days to even begin to process. And truthfully, I'm still not there. I watched the video, and if you saw it too, you know what I mean when I say you can't unsee it. It's burned in. And if it's that hard for me, just some guy who saw it through a screen, imagine the people in that crowd. People who showed up excited, smiling, cheering for someone they respected and admired, only to watch his life violently stolen right in front of them. Now, I'm not even going to give time of day to the sickness of people who are celebrating his death. That's its own rot in our culture. But what I want to talk about is this: the mental impact on ordinary Americans when even tragedy is instantly broadcast, replayed, and shoved in our faces. Because this isn't new. We've been here before. We've seen hostages beheaded on TV. We've seen soldiers blown apart on the evening news. We've seen school shootings, subway stabbings, suicides live streamed for clicks. And now it's not just the news, it's every platform. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. The feed never ends. But here's the question: what does that do to society? First, trauma doesn't just belong to the people in the room. Trauma spreads. Just watching an act of violence can cause intrusive thoughts, nightmares, anxiety, even PTSD-like symptoms. Psychologists call it vicarious trauma or secondary PTSD. We once thought of PTSD as a soldier's burden, something picked up in combat, but now millions of civilians are living with their own version of it because war has been brought to our screens, to our living rooms, to our phones. That's why you see people restless, angry, hyper alert in public places. Why you see rising depression and anxiety in the statistics. Why more and more Americans say they feel unsafe in their own communities. It's not paranoia, it's conditioning. But here's the darker part. Violence on repeat doesn't just wound us, it desensitizes us. We used to be horrified by one shocking video. Now it's a Tuesday. It's just another clip in the feed. You scroll, you gasp, maybe you repost or share, and then you move on. And worse, we've become spectators of each other's suffering. Think about it. A girl's stabbed to death on a train and people don't rush to stop it. They pull out their phones, they film, they live stream. A man collapses on a sidewalk and instead of stepping in, people circle with cameras rolling. That is the slow death of empathy. The moment when our instinct to protect each other gets overridden by our instinct to capture content. And when that happens, humanity is in jeopardy. This is what's feeding the isolation you feel in America today. People aren't just lonely, they're disconnected, distrustful, cynical. We don't see neighbors anymore, we see strangers. And when tragedy strikes, to many of us, we see a viral moment instead of a fellow human being in need. And let's not forget what fills that vacuum: anger, division, tribalism. Because if you're not connected to your community, you're going to cling harder to your side. Politics becomes identity. Outrage becomes your lifeline. And the system loves it. Because a fractured, cynical population, it's easy to manipulate. So let's put it all together. We're a nation experiencing trauma on repeat. We're raising kids who are more familiar with violent clips than they are with kindness. We're desensitized, numb, hyper-vigilant all at once, and we're replacing compassion with content. The consequences? We're a culture with PTSD on a national scale. A society so used to seeing death and cruelty that we stop resisting it, stop fighting it, stop even caring. And if we don't wake up to that now, then mark my words, the greatest casualty of this era won't be one leader or one victim or one tragedy. It will be the death of our humanity.